On today's episode of Watch JR Go, we're here with Eric's newest work truck. And today, we're gonna try to make it better. What is going on, guys? I am Watch JR Go, and if you remember, Eric's last work truck was that step-side 2003 one Silverado that I traded a Z28 Camaro for that had been on fire. So we've had quite a few cars to get to this point, and he has this one because he was driving through an intersection and a guy ran a stoplight and smoked the old step-side a few weeks ago. Well, insurance has paid for that, and Eric decided to downgrade to, well, it's kind of a wash. An LS swapped OBS Chevy with everything broken or the cheapest Chinese parts that you could have bought on it, except for a few. There's a few good ones like, you know, the LS under the hood. So today we're gonna jump in here and try to fix as much as we can because he can't drive it yet because it's pretty illegal. So let's take you on a tour of this truck and then try to make it a little less illegal to drive. So this is a 1990 what? Eight Chevrolet Silverado with some stamped chrome steelies on there, some chrome steelies, and it needs tires very badly. The front tires are okay, the back tires basically don't exist.
Isn't this all that matters?
This is all that matters right here. Do the honors. You guys ready for this? I'm not sure you are. Look at this, it's ridiculous. It's just, the whole truck shakes. Now, the whole truck shakes because it does have a cam in it, and it sounds kind of cool, but it's also a little broken. So we've already noticed a few things. We opened the hood just a minute ago and, you know, quickly noticed a few things that we could fix and hopefully make the idle work a little bit better. Just generally fix a bunch of problems. But let's walk around this thing. And first of all, the brake lights don't work. That's the most illegal thing. Not only do the brake lights not work, the turn signals don't work. Also pretty illegal. The high beams and the low beams do basically nothing. Eric didn't even think the high beams work. They do actually work, but since this thing is completely covered with the worst lights money can buy, well, none of it's any good. That rolling lock's very expensive, I gotta say.
There's a key to it too.
Is it? Does it work?
Yeah.
Does it close? Rolling locks are actually nice and expensive. It's kind of, can't say much bad about that. Oh, but it doesn't lock, does it?
Well, I don't know.
Because the key is...
I have the key.
All right, well, you can use that. If we look in the bed here, it is rhino lined, which is cool, and it does have a new water pump, which is also a bonus.
Rhino lines of OKC?
Rhino lined in OKC. This is an Oklahoma truck. The rolling lock's pretty toast too. We're missing the we're missing all the stuff for the handle here.
Normal.
Yeah, it is pretty normal.
I don't even know
but
if the tailgate works, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it kind of doesn't look like the tailgate's going to open. When you try
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, because if you do both at once.
Oh my gosh.
That's a negative.
Negative toast rider.
Well, the tailgate's on the list for another day, but if we take a look at the taillights, which is where we were going before, they are completely destroyed inside. So like the clear coat has failed on the plastic chrome. Oh, not to mention this, it's not even mounted.
Hey, don't worry about that.
I'm not gonna worry about that.
Probably can't get the tailgate open.
Yeah, they couldn't open the tailgate and they had to work on the lights. We're gonna have to get the tailgate open. I forgot.
Yeah.
We have to open it if we're gonna try to fix the lights. Squeeze both at the same time. Hey! He nailed it.
Well, there's a top screw.
That one has both screws.
That one has, yeah, this one's in.
This one's down to one screw.
Yeah.
All right, well, we're going to fix that properly today. That's our game plan. The third brake light, also terrible China edition with weird seals that are falling apart there. I mean, you can tell how well it's built because they didn't even bother getting the American flag to fit.
There's so many, when you lift up the center, I didn't even notice that.
Oh, it's so bad. It's so bad.
I think Kyle
but
found it.
While this thing is bad, it's also great. It has a brand new exhaust front to back. It has a 5.3 under the hood with MSD wires, and nothing bad about that. They look great. It also, some money was spent here. It's got ICT billets, swap brackets, which are always great. It looks like they did tap the water pump and run the steam port into the top of it because they didn't have the right radiator for an LS swap. This is definitely the wrong radiator. LS swap radiators should be same sides. So, hey Holly, we could use the correct radiator for that. Anyway, it actually does work. I can't say too many bad things about that. The air filter is here sucking up hot air. Oh, it does have a MAF, and there are wood screws holding... Okay. So, we could just delete the air filter. It's not doing anything at all.
Yeah, I know.
I didn't even realize it had a MAF.
It's waiting for the belt to catch it and then
just shoot it out of there. Yeah, it'll probably be better after that happens, honestly.
Yeah.
Over here, we have the map sensor that is not actually... It might be sealed. You know, I feel like that's a vacuum leak because we think this has a vacuum leak just based on how it runs, but that's not the... It does kind of fit like that. The tabs that hold that on are broken off though. So it could really just use a different intake. That would be nice if it had a real intake. And that would also solve maybe some of the air filter problems. It's got AC, it's got headers, and it's got great wires, and it has ICT billet brackets and a new tensioner. So that's what it's got going for it. Also a new throttle body. But this is Eric's.
Some Oklahoma dirt.
It's got Oklahoma dirt in it already. Oh, I guess we should continue talking about the front end here. Here are the headlights that don't work, the side markers that don't work. I think this is a replacement grille because all the chrome's coming. Oh yeah, the grille profile's different. And these don't really work either. Those nice amber running lights on OBS's, well, they're not supposed to look like that. Yeah, the side markers are toast.
You can't see any. I understand it looks cool. Like this looks okay in theory, but you see nothing at night.
Yeah. So now that we've talked about the outside, let's head inside and show you guys a few more wild surprises. All right, the door handles are complete, although the lock cylinders are missing. Pretty standard after they get swapped out on these trucks. Over here, we have a sea of blue lights that needs to get deleted immediately. Come on, blue on this beautiful maroon interior. These interiors were so good looking and they ruined it with all of this blue. So it looks like there's 192,000 miles on the truck itself, but you see the speedo doesn't work? So
who knows how long it hasn't been counted.
there are miles on this truck. Up here, we've got some carpet on the dash to cover up the typical broken. Oh, it's just not even there.
It's just, well, yeah, there's a few pieces left.
Okay, all right. As long as there's a few pieces. The windshield needs replaced, of course. You know, that's no big deal. That's just a couple of dollars. The ECU is interesting. They put the glove box down there. They just threw it down there. And then where the glove box needs to go, well, the ECU is just shoved in there. So that's one way to do a swap, I guess. You typically try to hide the ECU a little bit better, but that is the old fat ECU, which is a little bit harder to deal with. So the airbag switch is gone. This was the cassette player. That needs a fill panel. That's gone. But for the most part, this is a pretty stock interior on an OBS in a beautiful color. I think we can save this truck. In fact, I think we can even solve this problem here.
What is it? Is it blue film?
It's electrical tape.
Oh no.
Covering up the blue light. Ah! Oh, they tape both sides. That's the best way to do a blackout. Tape both sides. Here you go.
Yeah.
Thanks. Well, that is blindingly blue. So that's got to come out. Do these work? Thank you. I'm so happy these aren't blue.
You've pushed more buttons than I have.
We also have this great center console here. When you open it up, Zoomies, Kicker, Vance, Thrasher. That's what you need inside your LS swapped truck right there. Well, we've got a to-do list here. We are going to start by trying to make the brake lights work. Well, replace the tail lights. Just fixing the tail lights will go a long way. And obviously we need to buy every light on the front end of this thing. I don't know if we're gonna get those today, but we're headed to O'Reilly's right now to start getting this fixed because Eric needs to get his toolbox in this and start driving it instead of driving his nice brand new King Ranch for a work truck.
That's not a knife.
I do have a knife, but it's pretty beat up. That knife's pretty ruined. Obviously these things have the best cup holders too. These are the later OBS interiors. Really nice. Look at that. Dual cup holders, and that one flips out. It's better than the one with the cassette player over here. How's the de-taping job going there? Nice. All right, well, hopefully we can get one of these in white just to
Take that out.
get that junk out of there. Only minutes in and we are making real upgrades here. Just taking the blue lights out. So I think we're gonna drive this thing. Illegal or not.
Drive it.
Yeah, we're going to get the parts.
Tags on it.
If we get pulled over, we're going to get parts. So Eric said the AC doesn't work yet, so he's opening the AC up. Good call, good call. Let's fire this thing up. I haven't driven this.
The hardest key I've ever done.
No,
I haven't driven it.
no tack, no speedo.
But everything else.
Gas gauge, oil pressure does seem to work. Coolant temp work? We're about to find out. Let's go, guys.
This thing showed up in my driveway.
Well, the fuel gauge is getting more full by the moment. It just keeps going farther and farther past full. This has a brand new exhaust front to back, and it looks good, but it has turn downs, and the turn downs are just blowing dirt all over the place because they're pointing straight down at the ground past the bumper. So as soon as you start it, it starts making a big mess. We're gonna have to get rid of those. The transmission's doing some weird things. The speedometer works!
When did that start working?
Magic!
That doesn't make sense.
No tack though.
Well, then it's counting the miles.
I kind of think these need an RPM converter to work with the LS computer. I don't remember exactly, but I do think you might have to convert. Gosh, there are no brakes. That's high on the to-do list.
Yeah.
They're there, but man, it's the softest pedal in the world. I wish I could pick a gear, can I?
No, I don't think you can.
I cannot. It will not let me pick a gear. That was nearly wide open. It was like, weird. Weird. This truck does not know what it's doing. I can tell you that much.
I don't know anything about the
Tuning or anything like that.
Can we plug into the tuning, or
We can absolutely hook up to this. It's got an OBD2 port.
so? I feel like that's high on the priority list too.
It is.
So we don't know if or what he tuned.
Yeah.
It's dangerous as it is.
It's a truck that runs with an LS swap. It's all of those things.
Yeah.
We will see you guys at O'Reilly's. All right.
There's a piece of foam in there. Is that good?
Yeah, that foam is always good. For some reason, it's not spraying the windshield. It may be out of fluid. It may have something wrong with it, but Eric said he can hear the pump.
You didn't hear it? It went woo.
I can't hear anything in there. Over the wipers running dry on that windshield. All right, we're here at O'Reilly's to pick up hopefully just a bunch of random parts and start bringing this thing back to life.
Did we need that light?
No, we don't need that light.
You know what it is?
Yeah.
Holy.
Well guys, we have been here building the entire taillight assembly for this truck at O'Reilly's. Shout out to them for letting us take over the whole counter here and put this together, because we had to buy the screws for the assembly, we had to buy the light assembly here, which has the bulbs mounted in it, the tail light, and then of course the passenger side is on the way. It wasn't in stock today. Somebody probably already picked it up. So we get to wait a little bit for that, but at least the truck will have lights, because when we were turning in here, the sun was going down and it did not have lights. So now I think we're good to go on this. We're gonna go plug it in, find out. Brake lights don't work. Brake light switch should fix it. A whole bunch of new lights. All Sylvania Zevos for all the interior lights. And of course, a bunch of new screws, because it was missing some of the screws for the taillights. So I'll bring your screwdriver back in a minute. Thanks, Carter. All right, here's what's coming out of this thing. Look at this. This disaster, which I get it. It's got a bunch of resistors for the LEDs. You know, none of it works. What's going back in is much, much nicer here. So we get to unwrap our fresh new taillight. And we've got new screws to hold it all together. And now look how clean it is. We can use the factory connector, and this should just kind of snap in over here on the corner. Kind of like that, if it would click in. There we go.
The seals are pretty tight.
I know, the rubber seals are a lot different than the foam ones that were on that other one.
Yeah.
You really have to kind of work this in here. Ooh, I should have bought tag lights, but the tag lights do work. We are getting closer. So we've got 2 working lights in the back here. Hopefully we've got reverse lights. Let me jump in. I'll run it through everything if you want to get some video. Hey, that one actually turned on. I'm impressed. I put in the washer fluid, so hopefully that works.
I got new wipers I'm gonna put on.
This is a new truck.
Yeah. Well, you can't like have bad wipers. That's the worst thing in the world.
Okay, brake lights.
No brake lights.
No brake lights.
Hazards work.
All right, where's the key?
In the ignition? You drove.
I have that.
Try the remix. That blinker's working now.
We must have a front burn out because it's fast flashing.
That's fast flashing too. Let's come up here to the front.
It must have LEDs in the front.
Oh, it does.
Oh,
They're LEDs. So we actually have like lightage, so that's cool.
Yep.
Those blues are just really bad.
Hey, this is dead, isn't it?
Oh, it is dead, yeah.
All right. Well, we also bought a brake light switch, so let's get that swapped out and hopefully
Put it in reverse.
put it in reverse, Terry. Nothing? Nobody needs those.
Does it have to be on?
No.
Like running?
The
Oh,
ignition
okay.
was on, so the reverse lights, they simply didn't hook those up. Do you want these?
No.
You sure?
No.
You sure? Are you guys ready for the world's biggest upgrade? Here we go. There you go. It is much better looking. No more of whatever those are. I guess we might keep those for a future, who knows what. They're going in the box. And we did it all without even leaving the O'Reilly's parking lot. So we are getting close here. You guys can see, obviously we're missing that piece of trim. We will get that. We will find some maroon trim and get this all cleaned up. We're gonna obviously fix the glove box. It probably won't be a glove box, but it will have a cover. We've got all these lights swapped out, and all we really have left here is that dome light. So if we hit, oh, I already pulled it out because it was so bad. All right, once this, oh yeah, baby. We have a white interior. It doesn't hurt your eyes. All right, Eric wants to see his part of the job here. So if we missed, nothing. Oh!
They're waking up.
Get it, girl. Oh, dude, those new wiper blades work amazing. Well, all you need now is your new windshield.
Yeah.
That was a lot of progress real quick. What's left today? Brake light switch.
Yeah, which we can pull it in the building and do it.
It's never fun. Everyone knows brake light switches are
For stitches.
for stitches. Maybe we put mufflers on it. I know, but those mufflers are a little too loud. Oh yeah, check that out. These new interior lights make a huge difference. Let's take this thing home. When we say the headlights are worthless, on camera it's about 3 times brighter than it is in real life. No light. It's
Everybody leaves the brights on these.
oh yeah, if the brights are on, you can kind of see. That's
but it's still
wow.
Yeah.
The street lights are way brighter than the headlights. Guys, we're on a closed course now. Let's take a look at this. Full stop. Launch it. Oh, weird. Oh, it failed the shift test for us there.
Yeah, it did not shift.
Woo. We figured out the noise that was coming from the front end. It was basically out of power steering fluid, so Eric is shooting a little bit of that in there right now, and the transmission was acting a little bit weird, so we're going to check the trans fluid as well. Hopefully we can figure out what's going on there. Ooh. You overfill it?
Don't worry about it.
All right, starting it up, let's see if the noise is fixed now. We do think it was, I mean, it was out of power steering fluid. It sounded like a rock crusher. And now all the noise is gone, so we're making progress. It's time to start looking at the tune on this truck because the transmission is doing some very strange things. We both drove it. It acts weird in general. It's not bad, but it acts weird. So we gotta take a look at the tune. I think the air filter's okay for now. At some point it will fly off. So we'll have to find a way to change all this up. You know what, if this thing just had E-fans, it would fix all of its problems.
Yeah, that's easy.
Yeah, E-fans and, yeah. There's no way. You could just delete the map. The real thing is if we tune this thing on map and get rid of the map, it would solve all of its problems. All right, guys, unfortunately, now here's how this brake light switch works. It just slides on, right? You slide it onto the shaft, and then you snap it down. This little thing right here snaps onto the shaft, and that's how the brake light switch works. The connector here has to be plugged in. I found a zip tie they had put on here onto the extension. There's an extension cable, it's about 6 inches long, goes from the harness to the brake light switch, and the brake light switch wasn't actually attached. So there's a chance the switch wasn't broken, it was just popped off. So I popped it back on. Eric, go tell me if they work.
All right. Ready? Yep. Ah, they work.
All I did was cut the zip tie off and put the wires back where they
Push it again. The LED one is 4 times faster, but the stock one looks a million times better.
Third brake light?
Nope, that one's just DED.
Fully DED dead.
Yeah, but that's okay. I mean, that's a $7 part.
Well, we can return that part because
Yeah, we'll return it.
we didn't need it one bit.
Yeah. So they just made it too tight to where it disconnected.
I will say, there are 1, 2, 3, 4 butt splices going to the brake switch. And one of the little 3M snap lock things. And there are just wires going everywhere. Just
That's typical OBS 5.3 swap.
there's some wire. It looks like it had a security system because there's a cutoff ground here, a cutoff ground here, and they did mount the OBD2 for you correctly. So
So my curiosity is, what did it have before the LS swap? You know what I mean?
well, a security system on a 5.7. That's what it had. Here you go. I saved you some money.
You know what we could do that'd be really awesome?
That was the whole culprit right there. It was neatly zip tied up, but it sure ripped the wires right out of the brake.
Wish you could. It's hard to see in there, else we would have, been able to tell.
Oh yeah, we would have had that fixed in the parking lot.
Yep.
Guys, we are making some progress here. I did tell Eric, you know what, this grill's kind of torn up. Trash the grill, trash the lights, we'll start over. All new factory everything. And if you put these OBSs back with the factory stuff, they look so clean. It's ridiculous how nice they actually do look. So far what we've got, I don't know, $50 in the thing today, something like that. And we've kind of turned it around from a livability perspective. Obviously, no more whining from the power steering pump after it gets driven a little bit more. We're gonna try to do the brakes right now because the brakes are very bad. We're probably gonna have to do brakes because I can feel some vibration in the pedal. So obviously, we're looking at rotors, we're looking at pads, we're looking at a lot of stuff, and we need some newer wheels or at least some alloys, like some 95 to 99 alloys. Those are kind of ideal, or the later Suburban ones, they all look good. GM wheels look good on GM stuff. We got the brakes fixed, we got the interior lights fixed, we've got the wipers changed and working with a sprayer. A windshield is getting done this week. I think Eric's gonna have a driver here very shortly. We just have to get the brakes working and get the tune sorted out. So it's, it's going from being built with the worst parts you can buy to all the factory stuff that worked great for 20 years. So we did check out this fluid earlier and found out that it is absolutely nasty. I mean, this is some old fluid, and it's actually got debris and stuff like that in it too. So Eric brought a turkey baster down and then lost it immediately. It's right there. And he's gonna suck all this fluid out so we can throw it away and get some fresh fluid. All of this dirt is coming out of that brake fluid. That is nasty. Look at all that. Oh, it's so gross. Well, we're gonna get this all cleaned out. Fresh brake fluid, a whole bunch of bleeding, and maybe it'll have a pedal again.
I'd take any pedal.
Any pedal would be nice, because right now it's
You don't know if you're gonna stop.
sketchy.
But that's pretty
Pretty OBS Chevy.
yeah.
These things have terrible braking systems, possibly the worst one ever made.
And
But
it doesn't appear to be leaky, and a lot of times these like to bust right over the gas tank.
Yep. Yeah, or the wheel cylinders are leaking,
Yeah.
but this one does seem like it's fine, but we were trying to stop and we were having to give ourselves a lot of room. A little bit of fresh brake fluid to loosen this up. We'll clean it up again. One more run after this one and we should be good to go. So let's throw some fluid in. I'm jumping in to run the pedal on this thing. Eric's gonna open the bleeder real quick. Anything cool down there? Oh, look at that, new sway bar bushings.
Yeah, sway bar bushings. This is newer.
What? Oh yeah, all the steering gear?
Yeah.
Oh.
Someone's been through it. It's very orange down here.
Very orange?
Very Oklahoma.
Oh, yeah, Oklahoma dirt.
Yeah.
I'm ready when you are. Yeah, you can run a little bit more fluid up to that little mark right there. That's probably good. All right, guys, we ran a ton of fluid through this thing. Basically a whole bottle just now. So this is what was coming out of it. This nasty, nasty fluid. What's going back in is clear and is looking a lot better.
Last time there was like dark chunks still coming out of it, and I just did like 2 test hits and it's pretty clean.
Well, that is good news. And the pedal inside feels a lot better too. So we're gonna take it for a drive again, and hopefully now we've got brakes, which would be a big improvement. So lights, brake lights, brakes, just one day, little bit of work, $50 in parts from O'Reilly's, and we have kind of turned this truck around. So we're getting there. Now for the real test. Eric's gonna back it out and tell us if there are brakes or not. It makes a little difference once the power assist is there, so we're gonna find out quickly.
Couldn't be worse, right?
Couldn't be worse, that's true. Better?
Oh yeah.
All right, here we go. A quick little brake test. Oh, that seems like it actually has brakes.
It feels, I can actually feel it braking. Like before, you didn't know if it was stopping or not.
Yeah, it was just going to the floor. We were sketched out. Are you launching? Oh, it does not launch. Wow.
Even you roll.
All right, there, it's kinda. What was that? Guys, the tune and the throttle body and it has no idea what it's doing.
It wants to, and then it immediately kicks like in a safety mode. I don't know.
She's confused. Well, our test drive was successful, other than the engine not knowing what to do with its life. But that is it for today, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to head on over to shop, watchjairgo.com for cool shirts, not like this. And please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you want to do. And I will talk to you next time. Well, we've removed half the Chinese parts from it. And it's getting better. It's getting better, but it's got a little ways to go. What are you looking at? Oh, what wheels you can put on this bad boy?
I was trying to find a date code
Oh.
for these tires.
Yeah, I mean, that one actually looks like an okay tire. That tire's not that bad. It just looks horrible. It's like a passenger car tire that does not belong on this truck.
That's an Exxon too.
I know.
Oh yeah, they're mellows.
Yeah,
These tires are straight marshmallows.
Does not look good at all. Yeah, that's not a truck tire. Eric brought up a good point over here. This does look like it's had the typical, in Kansas, every car has driven through a barbed wire fence for some reason. See, it's got the barbed wire gouges the plastic.
They bondoed it.
And it's got the perfect, I went through a fence marks down the hood.
Even bent the antenna.
If you or a loved one has been affected.
I've been affected.
So, you know.